All right, it's 1 o'clock, so we will start the webinar. Good afternoon, everyone, and Happy New Year. And thank you for joining us today for our more member portal training session for employers. My name is Bill Hurley. I'm a team lead with Employer Services, and I will be the moderator for today's webinar. We will try to answer all of the questions within the hour we have for the session today. If we are unable to answer your question, we will reach out to you directly after the session. We will also post the questions and answers from today's session on our website. Also note that we have provided a PDF copy of the slides for today and a copy of the member communication samples in the handout section for your reference. These will also be posted on our website. I will now hand it over to Sandy to begin today's session.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our member portal training session for employers. My name is Sandy Cook, and I'm the manager for Employer Services. Joining me today is Deepak Patel and Christine Wachira, who are pension analysts in the Employer Services team. Also joining us are Marcia Patterson and Jack Shemiginowski, who are pension analysts with our quality assurance team, and they will assist us with answering any questions you may have about the portal today. We will first walk you through the initial registration, followed by the regular sign-in process. We will then walk you through the dashboard and navigation of the portal. We will also share with you the member communications for the portal and the timing for these communications. The site is still undergoing some modifications, so some of the screenshots in the deck will have some placeholder content. I will pass it over to Christine, who will walk you through the registration process.
Thanks, Sandy, and good afternoon, everyone. I will start by reviewing the member portal registration process. Please note that we will be launching the member portal in phases. Employer contacts and trustees will be provided with access to the portal on January 25th. We will provide details on the rollout and communication to members later in the presentation. At first, the portal will only be available to active members. Future phases will include EOM, deferred, retired members, and survivors. Members will receive a letter from the CAT plan that will provide them with their member ID and instructions on how to sign in. They will be able to access the portal from our main website. There will be a sign-in option on the main page that will allow them to choose whether they would like to sign in as a member or sign in as an employer. The member sign-in will redirect to the member portal, whereas the employer sign-in will redirect to the employer portal. Once you select to sign in as a member, you will be directed to this page to sign in. The member portal will also be referred to as My Pension. This is what the sign-in screen will look like. To register, click on the Sign Up Now option. Prior to registration, the member will be required to view and confirm their agreement with the terms and conditions of the portal. The member will then be prompted to enter their member ID, date of birth, and the last 3 digits of their social insurance number. Member IDs can be found in the portal registration package that we will soon be mailing out or on each member's annual statement. Once the member's information has been validated, they'll be required to provide an email address. A verification code will be sent to confirm the email. Once they have received the email with their verification code, they can copy and paste it in the input box provided. The member will then have the option to verify the code or request a new code to be sent to their email. Members will have the option to change their verification email address, or they can select the Create button to continue with the registration process. To enhance the security of the portal, the member will be directed to choose 3 security questions from each of the drop-down lists provided. At this point, the member will have our current record of their demographic information displayed to them. They will have the option to edit this information if needed, or just select Next. Any changes made will be updated in the CATS database. Members will be asked to verify their contact details. If they want to make a change, they can edit or they can click Next to proceed. Updates can be made now or at a later date if they choose. Spouse details can also be reviewed and edited. Depending on the nature of the change, additional documentation may be required by the plan to process the change. Members will also be asked to verify their beneficiary details and edit them if required or select Next. They will have the option to delete a beneficiary, change the percentage to any existing beneficiaries, or add a new beneficiary. The member will be able to review any revisions to the beneficiaries, confirm the updates, and save the changes. If the member would like a copy of their beneficiary changes, they can select the Save from My Records option. The Save from My Record option allows the member to produce a beneficiary designation form that can be downloaded, saved, and printed for their records. To continue the process, the member should select the Back to Home option. When the member hits the Back to Home when the member hits the Back to Home button, this is what they will see. The member will click Next to continue. Members will be able to view their employment details, but will not be able to edit this information. They should contact their employer if a change is required. Lastly, members will be prompted to edit and confirm their user preferences. Here, they will be asked to provide their primary and secondary email, preferred method of communication, user language, and select whether they would like to receive newsletters and announcements from the plan. Once the user preference details have been updated, the registration process is complete. The member will be redirected to the portal's dashboard. I will now pass it over to Deepak.
Thanks, Christine. We will now go through the sign-in process for the member portal. The member portal will be accessible from our main website. When the member accesses the portal, this is what the sign-in screen will look like. They will need to enter their email address and password to sign in. If a member forgets their password, they will have the option to change the password by clicking on Forgot Your Password. After clicking on Forgot Your Password, the member will then enter their email address. This second step authentication will send a verification code to the member's email address they provided. Once the member has received the verification code in their email, they will enter it and click Verify Code. The next step will allow the member to either change their email address or continue to update their password. The member will then create their password before they can continue. Once the member has successfully changed their password, they will be directed to sign in again with the new password. Once the member has successfully signed in, they will see the dashboard. Now I will walk you through the dashboard and navigating the member portal. The dashboard will display the processes available to the member on the left-hand side of the page. The dashboard is the home page, which will display the member's current pension benefit information, which includes retirement dates. The processes on the left-hand side of the dashboard are the different options available to the member, such as access to the pension estimator. Once the 2020 annual statements have been finalized by the CAT Pension Plan, the member will be able to view their 2020 annual statement in the member portal. They will also have access to any pension documents the member recently submitted to the CAT Pension Plan. Also on the dashboard, the member will see two sections titled Notifications and Process List. The Notifications section advises the member of any changes they have made to their file. The Process List section advises the member of any changes made to their file which have been completed. The menu on the left-hand side of the dashboard are the different processes available to the member. Under Home is Member Info, which displays the member's information that is currently on file with the CAT Pension Plan. The type of information the member will find under Member Info are demographic information, plan history, member employment details, member contact details, spouse details, and member beneficiary details. The next process on the dashboard is the estimator, which the member can use to calculate a retirement estimate. The member will check off they agree with the terms and conditions and click Next. To start an estimate, the member will update certain assumptions in the calculator and run the estimate. The estimated pension information will then be displayed below. The next process on the dashboard is Documents. As mentioned earlier, this is where the member can view documents they created, such as beneficiary forms. And the final process on the dashboard is Messages. Here, a member can view messages related to information they sent to or received from CAT. To view the message, the member will click on the record they want to view. They will then click on the subject to expand the message. The member will then have the option to reply to CAT regarding the message they selected by clicking on the reply button. If applicable, the member can also view any attachments regarding the message they selected. Similar to SDoc, the member will be able to attach and securely submit documents. Once the message is sent to CAT, a new record will be created in the message list with a reference ID. Now let's review the communication strategy for the member registration to the portal. Every year on the member survey, we receive an overwhelming number of comments stating the members wish they had a portal to access their personal pension information. We are very excited to be introducing My Pension, the new member portal. Your endorsement of the portal will be greatly appreciated in introducing it to our members. We have introduced the portal to members through member newsletters, and the official rollout starts on January 22nd. For 4 weeks, we will be mailing out registration packages to all members who are able to access the portal. At the same time, your employer PA will be sending you a sample email that we'd like you to send to your members to let them know that this valuable tool is going to be available to them. After the initial rollout is complete, we'll continue to promote the portal all year. Let's take a look at what's in the portal registration package that will be mailed to members starting January 22nd, as shown on the previous slide. In the package, members will find a letter introducing the portal with instructions on how to activate their account and a promotional insert that explains the features of the portal. These items will be mailed in a promotional envelope that teases what the package is about. A sample email copy will be provided in both languages. Your employer PA will let you know the date your members' packages will be mailed, so you can coordinate sending the email at the same time. To see the samples of the communications, you can download them on our website, or they are also provided in the handout section of today's webinar.
Okay, so thank you for attending, everybody. I hope that this session was helpful, and we really do appreciate everybody putting forward their questions, and we will definitely get back to you with any questions that we were unable to answer. We really appreciate the interaction. So have a great day, everybody.